Good morning, evening, or night. Wherever you are, welcome to WHAM today. Take a deep breath, clear your mind, and let's drift through the whispers of today's world, one quiet thought at a time, as we wrap up Tuesday, 22nd April 2025. Let's see what stories are unfolding around us. United States is advising its allies to steer clear of Chinese satellite services and is providing guidance on alternatives, including SpaceX's Starlink. The closure of a U.S. State Department office has also sparked worries among officials about increased vulnerability to foreign influence operations and disinformation. Following a U.S. show of force involving long-range bombers over South Korea, North Korea has issued threats. Turning to Russia, the nation is expanding its military influence globally. A military helicopter service hub is planned for Peru, increasing its defense presence in South America. Russia is also reportedly boosting its military presence in Africa by reactivating a desert airbase in the Libyan Sahara. In the Baltic region, British Typhoon fighter jets intercepted a Russian Il-20 spy aircraft close to NATO airspace. Reports have surfaced about Russia's possible interest in establishing a military base in Indonesia, which could affect the Indo-Pacific balance against the US and Australia, although these reports have been denied. Regarding the conflict in Ukraine, Russia continues to strike Ukrainian cities, and the Kremlin has stated that peace talks will take time. Russian forces have also claimed to have captured a village from Ukrainian forces in the Kursk region. In the latest from North Korea, threats have been issued in response to the U.S. flying long-range bombers over South Korea as a show of force. South Korea is actively strengthening its military alliances and modernizing its armed forces. The nation inked a defense cooperation pact with the United Arab Emirates, centering on the KF-21 Boramae fighter jet, highlighted by a UAE general piloting the aircraft in South Korea, signifying deepening defense ties. Simultaneously, South Korea is engaged in joint military exercises with the United States. These include the Freedom Flag air drills and the deployment of B-1 bombers for training and flyovers. The U.S. bomber presence triggered condemnation and threats from North Korea. In a potential landmark arms deal, South Korea could export as many as 100 A-50 Fighting Eagle light attack aircraft to Egypt. The deal, if finalized, would be its largest defense export agreement to date. Internally, the South Korean military is grappling with heightened scrutiny related to disciplinary matters following several significant accidents. A new airport regulation concerning the use of plastic bags for batteries has also ignited public discourse and debate. Australia faces questions regarding the reliability of its alliance with the United States. A think tank has raised concerns, adding to the debate surrounding the costly AUKUS submarine program and its impact on defense strategies. Lockheed Martin is proposing containerized launches to address gaps in Australia's air and missile defense. The potential acquisition of B-2 stealth bombers has also been considered to further strengthen strategic capability. Peter Dutton has refuted claims that he misrepresented the Indonesian president concerning alleged Russian military ties. Australia has also minimized the perceived threat from Russian Tu-95M's bombers. China's military strength and global partnerships are increasingly visible. Assessments indicate that the J-20 fighter jet may outperform the US F-22 and F-35 in some aspects. Yet, the U.S. Air Force actively trains with B-1B bombers near China, signaling ongoing US vigilance. In a move towards stronger ties, China and Egypt completed their inaugural joint Air Force exercise. There are indications that China is becoming more open to counterterrorism cooperation with the United States. Tensions persist in the South China Sea, where the armed forces of the Philippines, AFP, rejected China's assertion of an illegal patrol at Scarborough Shoal, asserting its own maritime rights. The United Kingdom is bolstering its defense posture on several fronts. Advanced counter-drone technology, including microwave weapons aimed at neutralizing drone swarms, is currently under development and being tested. In related news, UK fighter jets have been actively intercepting Russian aircraft operating near NATO airspace, highlighting the nation's dedication to protecting Allied territories and deterring potential incursion. Due to espionage concerns, Chinese-manufactured electric vehicles are now prohibited from entering UK military installations. Rocket Lab has also secured lucrative, multi-billion-dollar contracts to contribute to hypersonic programs in both the US and the UK, reinforcing collaborative defense initiatives. The U.S. Air Force is increasing its Indo-Pacific presence with B-1B Lancer bombers deployed to Misawa Air Base in Japan. This is the first bomber task force based in Japan, enhancing rapid response capabilities amid rising tensions. These B-1B Lancers are moving from Texas to Japan, solidifying the U.S. commitment to regional security. Indonesia firmly upholds its independent and proactive foreign policy, dismissing allegations of allowing Russia to set up military or air force facilities on its soil, including Papua. Indonesia continues to assert its neutrality on the global stage. The United States is reducing its military footprint in Syria, planning to withdraw 1,000 troops over the next few months amid evolving regional dynamics. Meanwhile, the U.S. is reportedly considering a military sale to Taiwan. The Taiwanese armed forces are evaluating the acquisition of 30 additional UA-60 Black Hawk helicopters to bolster their defense capabilities. The United States saw its aircraft participate in an elephant walk exercise alongside Singapore and Thailand, highlighting military interoperability. Following this display of cooperation, Singapore is preparing to send a medical contingent to Egypt. This contingent will offer medical assistance to Palestinians, marking a significant humanitarian effort. Thailand also joined the United States and Singapore in the Elephant Walk exercise. The exercise demonstrated a unified front, reinforcing military alliances in the region. Egypt is bolstering its air force with potential acquisitions and joint exercises. Dow Securities predicts Korea Aerospace Industries, KAI, will likely secure a deal to supply 150 aircraft to Egypt. Further strengthening its military ties, Egypt welcomed Chinese Y-20 transport planes for joint air drills. Shifting focus to Canada, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's government faces increasing scrutiny over its handling of foreign interference allegations. Recent reports suggest China targeted the 2019 and 2021 elections, prompting calls for a public inquiry. Opposition parties are demanding greater transparency and accountability from the Liberal government regarding these serious claims. In the United States, the debate over the debt ceiling continues to dominate the political landscape. Negotiations between the White House and Republican leaders are ongoing to avert a potential default. Disagreements persist over spending cuts, with both sides struggling to reach a compromise before the deadline. Turning to France, tensions remain high following recent pension reforms. Protests and strikes continue across the country, with unions vowing to maintain pressure on President Emmanuel Macron's government. The controversial changes to the retirement age have triggered widespread discontent and social unrest. The Philippines is considering a $5.60 billion deal to acquire 20 F-16 fighter jets, a move intended to bolster the nation's air defense. Economic challenges stemming from tariffs are casting doubt on the affordability and practicality of this major military procurement. Saudi Arabia has recently awarded S&K Federal Services a contract for base operations support. Adding to regional dynamics, Chinese J-10 fighter jets were seen flying over a U.S. Navy port within the country. Further highlighting international cooperation, F-15 fighter jets of the Royal Saudi Air Force escorted the aircraft carrying Indian Prime Minister Modi during his visit through Saudi airspace. Thailand is actively collaborating with international partners to bolster its air defense capabilities, recently hosting subject matter experts from the U.S. Air Force's 225th Air Defense Squadron. Simultaneously, Thailand is managing a humanitarian situation involving refugees, with around 200 individuals crossing the border from Myanmar in search of safety, according to Thai authorities. Australia honored its defense personnel in France for their dedication and sacrifices. Germany is reassessing its economic model due to disruptions from Donald Trump's trade war, impacting the global trade order. India has established its first purple officers to spearhead joint military operations. Iran is facing heightened tensions as the Israeli Air Force conducts high-stakes drills targeting Iranian threats, while discussions continue regarding Iran's approach to international agreements. Italy saw a visit from J.D. Vance, who traveled to Italy and the Vatican following disagreements with the Pope concerning migration issues. Myanmar has received an armed forces medical team dispatched for a humanitarian relief mission to provide aid and medical assistance. New Zealand is planning to nearly double its military spending, significantly increasing its defense budget. Furthermore, New Zealand has extended its military support to Ukraine through 2026, solidifying its commitment to the ongoing conflict. Panama mourns the passing of David Snook in Panama City, FL. Obituary details are available through Heritage Funeral Home and Cremation Services. Poland's acquisition of new KSS-3 submarines is expected to challenge Russia's dominance in the Baltic Sea, significantly bolstering Poland's naval capabilities in the region. Singapore saw a Royal Singapore Air Force RSAF pilot who was unable to fly due to pregnancy travel to Norway for training and experience. Syria is at the center of reports suggesting a potential drawdown of US troops amidst ongoing regional instability. Taiwan is the location of a recent U.S. deployment of anti-ship missiles near Taiwan in the Luzon Strait, enhancing defensive capabilities in this strategically important area. United States' Space Force is poised to play a crucial role in America's space ambitions, envisioned as the nation's manifest destiny into the stars. The U.S. has also deployed anti-ship missiles near Taiwan in the Luzon Strait, bolstering defensive capabilities in a strategic location. Furthermore, reports suggest a potential U.S. troop drawdown from Syria amidst ongoing regional instability. The U.S. and Vietnam have reportedly reached a deal on the purchase of F-16 fighters amidst rising tensions with China. Vietnam is considering purchasing 24 new F-16 Fighting Falcon jets from the U.S. to modernize its air force. The U.S. and Vietnam have reportedly reached a deal on the purchase of F-16 fighters amidst rising tensions with China. And that's a wrap for today's news, because even headlines need a nap. Stay curious, stay kind, and let the noise fade as you find your quiet. Take care, stay awesome, and I'll see you next time on WHAM Today.